going to start you guys off this morning with a little music just to wake us up a little bit.
Call me.
I think leadership is one of those things where sometimes you get your hands dirty. You do little things as well as big things, and you lead by example and you coach people a lot because the more you coach them, the better player they are.
Is there anyone in particular in your life that was made that difference for you?
But Aunt Bunny told me that it was incredibly important to get your education early, focus on self-improvement and self-maintenance along the way, and always stay committed to family and your roots. Never be embarrassed that you were a poor Black child, but talk about how you can achieve more and achieve more.
Today, I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the diversity, inclusion, equity, things that we're going through here in Akron.
I have worked hard, and I think most African Americans, especially African Americans who are older than 40, have had times in their lives where they felt the weight of their race on their shoulders. I have to be the very best I can be at all points in time. I very rarely forget that I'm Black or African American because it feels like very few people want to let me have the opportunities that I dream of. And so with that on your shoulders, when you get into real leadership roles, it is incumbent of you to begin to coach, mentor, and help other younger African Americans get opportunities. It's incredibly important that we get our young people to participate. And that may be part of what is the dynamic for all the protests we're seeing right now, is that they felt that there are not enough elected officials who are diving in and trying to solve problems. Putting the walk behind the talk is incredibly important if you want diversity to become a way of life in Greater Akron. So helping people achieve is more than just giving them a pat on the back and saying the door is open. Reaching out, talking to people, learning similarities and honoring differences, in creating ways to make sure that they're part of the entire organization, not just having a job there, and you're willing to listen to them, collaborate with them, and build on their ideas. So our outside the box idea, which came from 30 people's smart aleck comment, will be a reality in collaboration with the Family Foundation, the Ohio Housing and Finance Agency, and some banks. We will be able to move forward with a $13 or $14 million project, hopefully this fall.
So if anybody can put it together, it's you. So we look forward to walking with you as you do that project. When I see that backdrop behind it, Leadership Akron in your class, obviously you're proud of that. Do you feel it was worth it? Did it benefit you personally and professionally?
If there's one way to learn to love Akron, it's participating in Leadership Akron. But it is a phenomenal opportunity to build relationships. Bus time was some of the best time because there were little comments that you learned about people, that you traded ideas, and you reflected on what you saw that day. So I thought it was a phenomenal way to bond quickly with this community that I've learned to love.
Often asked, who motivates the motivator? How do you stay so motivated, Cheryl?
Again, I tell you that I was incredibly blessed. I had two phenomenal parents. I started out in the best way possible. And then along the way, I was lucky enough to find what I love to do for a living. I don't just have a job. I have something that I love to do because I make a difference in the world. And even on my bad days where we've lost money on something or when COVID struck, it was my job to figure out how to find the solution to our problems. And I'm still loving this and still happy that people like Phil and Teresa picked me. Thanks, Phil.
This morning, Cheryl has chosen EANDC as her charity of choice that we'll be raising for the donations. So if you want to just provide a little bit of context on how these donations will make an impact for you. You navigate to the Leadership Akron website and go to the Leadership on Main page. We do have a button here that will take you to that donation site.
We have a strategic plan that says we will help people find housing that's affordable. So it's not just about when they're poor, but it's about finding housing that's affordable for families who make $60,000, $70,000 a year with a parent or two. And they want something that's really nice, that isn't got code violations, and that helps them save money so they can buy into one of the most important pieces of the American dream, owning a home. And some of you will get letters from me and phone calls from me asking you to contribute, because we'll have to do this virtually this year because I just don't see a way to do a fundraiser this year, the kind of fundraiser we've had traditionally. If you would be generous with us, we can build housing not only in the cities, Akron, Canton, Massillon, but in suburban areas, and that is one of our goals. And we are working to do those things because, as I said earlier, there's a nexus between housing and health. There's a nexus between housing and financial stability, and a home continues to give back, not only to the family, but to the community. So I want to thank you for listening to me and Phil, who's been a mentor and a supporter throughout this last 2.5 years. Thank you for welcoming me into Akron.